purchase worker shares and interns as employees, and what that might look like for your operation. Okay, on-farm events and festivals. Why are we doing this? Well, we want to build strong relationships with our buyers, our CSA customers, by giving them an opportunity to connect with the farm physically. Definitely a good goal to have. And the legal situation. So from a legal perspective, your concerns are going to be minimized if you host your events and festivals as marketing for your CSA and you don't charge extra for these events. But if you do charge, then we have some more concerns that we need to be aware of. So what are those concerns? If you do have a separate fee, note again that your insurance coverage, if you have a farm liability policy, won't come into play because this isn't a farm. If we're selling a tour, if we're selling a potluck, if we're selling access to a club or something like that, that's not a farm operation. So we need a commercial policy. Exemptions from minimum wage, overtime, and workers' comp may not apply anymore because hosting a tour, being a tour guide, etc., making pizzas for folks, that's not agricultural labor under the law, so we would miss out on those exemptions if you are relying on them. Now again, zoning code can be a problem with these sorts of things too. If your zoning code allows agricultural operations, the definition of agriculture might be limited to production and marketing of crops, which is often a boilerplate definition for these sorts of things. So once you host that awesome pizza night and barn dance, and you have that grumbly neighbor that hates children and hates fun, he might call up the zoning board, and you'd have folks looking into what you're doing. Again, I refer you back to my other solutions on how to deal with zoning. You can go for the variance, or of course you can go for the cookies and treats beforehand to try to prevent those issues. Of course, you might want to reevaluate charging fees for these sorts of events and festivals, limiting them to really a marketing purpose only. You're trying to build customer loyalty, you're trying to increase renewal rates, those sorts of things. But if you're trying to generate a profit by having your CSA customers, have all their friends and neighbors come along, got more of a problem. The CGL policy, it keeps coming up because it dramatically expands your coverage away from a farm liability policy, useful for these sorts of things. You also might want to think about tucking fee-charged activities under a separate enterprise, which would really be an agritourism business. And then you, of course, could buy a policy, insurance policies, and hire employees that are separate to that business and not worry about whether you're losing your agricultural exemptions for the farm employment. So it's something to keep in mind. It's definitely a more complex decision. And I'm not one of those attorneys that advocates that you create all these different businesses to hold all manner of different business activities. But I do think